Hello, everyone. Back with the tabletop, and this one you all probably know. It is the famous Makarov. Awesome pistol. So today I wanted to just take a minute and talk about it from the standpoint of why would you buy one and would you carry it? Really simple questions. Um, there's kind of a few different groups of people. There's people who only buy guns as tools, right? And those guys are usually running Glocks and ARs. No problem with that. We can be friends. Then you have other guys who are collectors, right? And they only buy guns because of the history and, maybe they're interesting and things of that nature. And then you have somebody in between who likes the old guns, but also shoots them and carries them. And I kind of fall in that category. And so, I mostly bought this gun because it's a really cool gun. It's a nice gun, actually. For whatever reason, people think they hear Russian and they think it's trash. And that's true in a lot of cases. It's not the case here. But, I bought this and mostly for that reason, because it's a cool gun. But is it actually a gun that you could carry? I'm going to say yes. Now, up against a lot of other options, I'm sure a lot of people are going to say this gun's better, that gun's better, and thereby, by that logic, the Makarov's a terrible carry gun. Well, it's not a terrible carry gun. So let's just talk about it. I will say first, if you want a really cool history video on the history of this Makarov, or Makarovs in general, Ian with Forgotten Weapons has a great video. I would recommend that one for some history on the gun. Briefly about this pistol individually, this one was made in 1981 in Bulgaria. It's a Circle 10 marked. It's in great shape. I got it for $300 on Atlantic Firearms, their website. They sent an email out and it was like $300 Makarovs. I was like, sold. Grabbed one right away. It's definitely been reblued, but it's a very good job. It's nice bluing. The gun is in very solid shape. It's not wiggly wobbly at all. Everything's crisp. It's got new springs in it, and the bore is in great shape. So, yeah, for $300, that's a steal for an all steel Makarov. Like, that's great. So yeah, let's just get into it. So, is this a good carry gun? Well, I would agree with most people that it's not probably the best option compared to some other things out there, but I don't think it's a bad one at all. In fact, I would pick this pistol, and do pick it, over, say, a Ruger LCP, right? That class of pocket rocket, the little plastic, tiny, tiny little 380s. I hate those pistols. Or even the Glock version of it, tiny little thing. I hate those. They're terrible. I would pick this over a Glock pocket rocket any day. And here's why. This pistol is about as small as I would go for a carry pistol. And the reason I would pick this over those is, one, it actually has a real pistol grip. This grip is big enough. It fills my hand. That's about as small as I want to go. Okay, so I can control the weapon. I can appropriately grip the weapon. That's the first thing. The second thing is it actually has quite a good trigger. The double action has double action to single action, so the double action is, as you would guess, pretty heavy, right? Look, the trick with double action triggers, just rush through it. Don't do this thing. The slow pull is how you just throw your shots. Get your sights lined up and pull the trigger, right? But then after that, you got a really nice single action trigger that is a sweet gun to shoot in that single action mode. So you got a good grip, you got a good trigger, you got pretty usable sights. Very crisp. They're all steel. Sorry, that's a little bit blurry picture there. Controls are adequate, and the gun is also big enough where you can manipulate it if you have any issues, which I have not. In a couple hundred rounds, this gun's been perfectly reliable. They run very, very well. So I guess you could say the biggest drawback about this gun is probably the weight. It is an all-steel gun, albeit a very light all-steel gun. It's probably a little heavy. So would I make this a pocket gun? Probably not. But like maybe a jacket pocket gun? Sure. Absolutely. Inside the waistband? Absolutely. It could do it. Ankle carry? For sure. You could do that. No problem. And again, I would pick this over the tiny little pocket rockets. I'm not a board shorts and Crocs guy. I believe you dress when you leave the house, and you dress appropriately to carry a real gun. But in those instances where, say, I'm just running to the gas station up the street, I don't want to strap on a 1911, throw that in the jacket pocket. This is a very good pistol, right? It's reliable. You can, you actually have real usable controls and grips and sights. It's a good gun, right? Now, let's talk about some of the stigma around the fact that it's Russian. This pistol exists in the family of like the Walther PPK, and there's a lot of pistols around that were designed in and around the same time frame with this pistol. I believe they all are ripping off the PPK. I don't really know the history all that well. But it's really funny. If I were to say, yeah, man, I've got a Walther PPK, and I throw that in the jacket pocket, right? And that's kind of my pocket gun. People would be like, oh, cool. It's a nice gun. German, right? Sweet. But you say it's a Makarov, and there's sort of this like, how could you do that? You know, it's like there's this pearl clutching that happens where suddenly it's a deep offense to the tactigods that you would dare carry such a thing. And it's just really interesting. I'm sorry, it's quite hypocritical. Another gun that exists in this family is the Bursa. The Bursa absolutely takes after the Makarov and the PPK. I did own a Bursa at one point. I gave it to somebody who needed a carry pistol badly. And I got to tell you, I know they're cheap. The gun ran the 9 or 10 years that I owned it. I didn't have a problem. If I was going to pick between the Bursa and the Mac, I'm going Makarov all day, just because it's a very, very sturdy pistol. Everything is like overbuilt in this gun. So that's kind of my views on the Makarov. It's a great gun for all the reasons I've stated. Is the 9x18 Makarov the best bullet? No. But like all cartridges, I think it's the same performance as a 380. So if you carry a 380, don't talk to me about the Makarov. I think at the end of the day, it's like any gun. You need marksmanship. You need to hit what you're aiming at. Okay. And this gun is supremely easy to hit with. It is a very accurate gun. Great trigger. Very pointable. The recoil is just nil. So there you go. Let's take a quick look at how it breaks down. Really, really interesting gun. So basically you pull the trigger guard down and kind of cock it to the side, rest it on the frame, and you pull the slide back and up. And there you go. You can service the gun. Got this huge fat recoil spring up front. Nice sturdy components in there. Got your barrel. Really not a lot to it. It goes back the same way it came off. All the way back. Push down. And then you return your trigger guard. Happy days. Very, very simple gun. So, again, some people would look at this and scoff. I don't really care. It's a great gun. Let's also talk about carrying an old gun, right? Would you carry an old pistol? Well, look, I think older guns are just made better in a lot of cases. This pistol is made better than, like I said, the Ruger LCPs and the Diamondbacks of the world. By a long shot, it is made better. It's a very weird stigma that if the gun is old, it equals bad. I think you guys need to reduce your Velcro intake and get off the Tacti-Kool-Aid a little bit, because an old gun is not a bad gun. A broken gun is a bad gun, okay? But we shouldn't equate old with broken. This gun was made in 1981. Who knows how much it's been shot, but it's solid. I've run it maybe 150 rounds, 200 rounds. It's been great. So, anyway, if nothing else, if you can find one for the price that I did, you should certainly buy one. They are a cool pistol. They're fun. Are they functional? Sure. For all the reasons I listed. Um, you know, you could make the argument there's better guns. Okay, go for it, man. It's all you. But for me, yeah, I would carry it. So there you go. That's the Makarov. Really cool pistol. Um, Even though it's Russian and we're supposed to hate the Russians, it's a beautiful pistol, I think. And yeah, gotta love it. So there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. We will see you on the next one.